You're at table 5. Okay, be there.
has been a part of the Central Florida community for more than 50 years. And now, we're ready for more. More love. More community. More education. More justice. More hope. With the help of Hope's community and team members, we are here to celebrate our past and plan for our future. Welcome to Hope Community Center's 50 Years y Más Fiesta. To kick things off, please welcome Nancy Alvarez.
Celebration. What a beautiful room, what a beautiful evening, what a beautiful crowd. Thank you so much for being here tonight. We are, of course, here to celebrate a few Sisters of Notre Dame. You may have heard of them. And the hope that they have shared with our community over so many years. So, a couple of housekeeping things. If you've ever been to Hope, if you know anything about Hope, it's all familia y comida, okay? It's all about food and family. So that means start eating, relax, no te preocupes. This is not a formal, program here, so you can eat and enjoy yourselves while we go on with the program here, because we have so much for you this evening. And it's family style as well. So that's a lot of fun, and I think also reflects hope at your dinner table and the way they run the center. That's right. That's right. So while you're settling in and starting to eat, I'd like to thank you again for coming out tonight. Remind you of our silent auction that's still underway. Also a very special shout out thank you to our partner sponsor, Advent Health. Yes, who also put this magnificent evening. And then I have someone a little special that I want to say hello. I want you to say hello to. You all may know, some of you, that Sister Gail was not going to be here with us this evening because she had a fall. And, everyone said, Sister Gail, listen, it's a lot, It's a lot for her. She's been through a lot. She's still recovering. So for weeks, we've been telling her, look, don't feel bad. We were going to do a video, a message. Oh, she's here. Because really, Sister Gail.
So grateful to be able to be here tonight to start this celebration with you all. And it's so appropriate that it would be not just us, the nuns, two nuns. Yeah, because the important thing for us has always been community. It's been community for us, the 4 or 5 of us that came. And it's community for all of you that are here tonight to celebrate with us. Without that, there is no celebration. It is community. And it's love and it's belief in each other that all of us have something to give, that we are learners, and we are teachers. And thank you very much.
Sister Gail, we want to give this to you to thank you for the service, for the 50 years y mucho más. And thank you for being with us tonight.
Mary Carroll was quick to point out, we're not nuns. We're not nuns. Me and her are nuns. We're not. And then also, Sister Gail didn't want us to make a big deal out of her, but there you go. I handed her a hot mic, and she got flowers and an award. So that was just such a special moment. And she's going to be going to get some rest, but we're so glad she was able to be here. All right, it is now my pleasure to welcome to the stage from Orange County with a special proclamation. At this time, we are going to welcome Mark Espresso from the county, and I believe a couple of commissioners are with us this evening. Yes, there we are, Commissioner Christine Moore and Myra is here. Is Myra here? Come on up. I don't know who's here. Everybody, come on up. Who's here for the special proclamation from Orange County?
It is my pleasure to the whole community.
Good evening. I'm Orange County Mayor Jerry Demings. It is my pleasure to welcome you to the Hope Community Center's 50 Years EMOS Fiesta. With humble beginnings in Apopka to now serving individuals across Central Florida, the Hope Community Center has helped enrich countless individuals by always putting comunidad first. On behalf of the nearly 1.5 million residents who call Orange County home, I would like to recognize the decades of work of the Hope Community Center with the following proclamation. Whereas in 1971, with hearts as wide as the world, Sisters Ann Kendrick, Kathy Gorman, and Gail Grimes came to Apopka, Florida to uplift a community towards social and economic justice. And whereas the sisters helped develop the Office for Farm Workers Ministry, a department of the Catholic Diocese of Orlando that fundamentally improved the quality of life for farm workers, immigrants, and families in Central Florida. And whereas throughout the 1970s and 1980s, the sisters, along with community advocates, helped support the broad diaspora of Orange County by creating multiple institutions, including community health centers, Home and Partnership Incorporated, Community Trust Federal Credit Union, and the Farm Worker Association of Florida. And whereas the work of the sisters continued to grow, and the ministry evolved and was incorporated in 2005 as the Hope Community Center Incorporated, and whereas in 2007, the Hope Community Center opened its doors to the first permanent home in Apopka, and whereas in 2016, the second campus was opened in South Apopka, which helped fortify its mission to foster diverse, empowered learning communities engaged in personal and societal transformation. And whereas the Hope Community Center has continued its unwavering dedication to the Central Florida community and continues to engage and empower communities to advocate for equitable access to community assets, immigrant justice, LGBTQ+ liberation, racial equity, and women's rights. And whereas in 2022, the Hope Community Center celebrates 50 years EMOS, a significant milestone in its work to build communities and enrich lives. Now, therefore, I, Jerry L. Demings, by virtue of the authority vested in me as Orange County Mayor, do hereby proclaim Saturday, December 3rd, 2022, as Hope Community Center Day in Orange County, Florida, done and ordered this third day of December 2020.
Thank you so much, Mark Espresso from Orange County and Commissioner Christine Moore. Thank you so much for being here and for that very special proclamation. You have a day now, Sister, a whole day. Don't go anywhere, because this is the part where I have the absolute honor Not good enough. Of, stop it. Don't love her. Okay. Yeah, on a side note, so I'm going to Channel 2. I don't know if y'all heard. But it was this big secret, and I wasn't supposed to tell anybody. But I told Sister Ann. She's known for months, and she didn't tell anybody. I'm just letting y'all know you can really trust her. Like the nun thing, for real. Like you can tell her. And she won't tell anybody. Ladies and gentlemen, Sister Ann Kevin.
Whereas, and finally, whereas. I love the diversity in this room. Thank you. Thank you. And we can still do a better job, can't we? Yeah, so. Welcome, bienvenidos. Thank you for being here to help celebrate and honor the good work, the amazing history of 50 years of the Hope Community Center. We started in the trunk of our car in Santa Barbara. Just a side note, we're the only white people that live in Big Jewel. And it was a jewel. We loved living there. There was community. We raised kids. We had a summer camp on the front lawn. The kids thought they were in Wet and Wild just when we ran a hose on them. So, today, we're not really here to talk about the past, as wonderful as it was, because we're ready to build on our history, to learn from our experience and look deeply. And the commitment we have to make this world a better place. It's not the nun's job. We're actually not that good at some of those things. I know some people thought I was the executive. Is the most essential part of who we are as humans, and is buried deep within all of us as a source of wisdom, a source of strength, compassion, and healing, which we can still draw upon if we will, if we want to, if we do. Because our truest prayers come from there, often unspoken, rising out of believers and unbelievers alike. It doesn't matter. Whether we recognize them as prayers or not, it doesn't matter. From there also come our best dreams and all those moments in our lives when we find ourselves being better, stronger, braver, wiser than we are. We can count on that help from the Divine One who holds us all in her heart. As a private, oh, you got that right? Just we're gender inclusive. And you got it. As the prophet Micah says, God only asks three things of us. Three things. Religious people, we make it very complicated. There are only three things. To act justly, to be just, equitable people, to be just in our lives. to love tenderly, heart connection, love, real love, not a Hallmark card, but radical love. Radical love isn't left, right, or red or blue. Radical is root, the root meaning of what our lives mean. And when we look around us, we need to be doing a better job. And there are people in this room who have that energy, have that vision, have that desire. You don't have to be a nun. Up there if you're not. But you can bring some beautiful children into this world that can carry on the legacy. So, we have been blessed, this Hope family, with 50 years of service and good trouble, as John Lewis would say. We are and we want to be allies and warriors for justice. We know the medicine to heal our world, to heal ourselves, our culture. And what is it? Love. Love. Belonging. We're humbled to be a part of the struggle for freedom from oppression, and we know we can't do it alone. We can't do it alone. I believe what Genesis suggests, that the original self, which has the print of God's thumb, is the most essential part of who we are. So let us pray. That was the prayer already. Divine One, Holy Sacred One, Dios, God, Papa Dios, Jesus, Jehovah, Allah, Gaia, Holy Spirit, whose goodness and power cannot be confined in a word, you who cannot be corralled or fenced in, we call upon you, O Holy One, this evening and every day to be with us, to guide us, to bless us on our journey. There really are only 3 prayers. Help. Help, God, help. Help, be with us. We need us, guide us. For whom do you pray? Who needs help? Thanks. Thank you. Gratitud. Gracias. It's an amazing life we have been given. A beautiful creation, a beautiful planet. We're so blessed. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Gracias. And wow. Wow. This life is amazing. Look at this room. Look at the energy and the goodness in this room. The life history in this room. People know stuff. People know stuff. And we can make this a better place if we only want to. And if we remember that God's thumbprint is on us as we're born, as we live, and as we work with love to change the world. Thank you for being here. Muchas gracias. And may the party continue. I wish I was as pretty as she is.
Watch your step. Watch your step. Oh my God. You know how I get with you. We went to a basketball game at the Amway. I'm going to tell him. And she kept getting up and down, going to get food and all this. And I said, Sister Ann is not falling on my watch. Y'all would be after me. Like I wasn't going to happen. So I'm very paranoid. Well, she's, got to take care of her. We got to take care of her. I don't know if this is anyone's first time being on the receiving end of Sister Ann's words and energy. But it's not my first time, and every time I always think to myself, I'm never going to forget this when she speaks. So I hope you all felt that too in your heart. Moving on with our program tonight, Sean Welcome is always a welcome face at Hope Community Center. A former Notre Dame AmeriCorps member at Hope, Sean is the City of Orlando's Poet Laureate. He has traveled the country sharing his gift of performance poetry and has even written NBA commercials for our Orlando Magic. As the City Beautiful's official storyteller, Sean has deep roots here and continues to inspire our young literary artists and poets at Hope Community Center and beyond. Tonight, Sean speaks to this moment of hope. It is my honor to welcome now to the stage, Sean Welcome.
Good evening, good evening, good evening.
Thank you so much, Debo, Sister Ann, Laura, the team here at Hope Community Center for inviting me here. I have a very special place in my heart for Hope as a former AmeriCorps, 2010-2011. We get things done. One of the things that Hope Community Center stands for is compassion and empathy. And one of the ways that we can continue to develop that in humanity is through sharing our story and listening to the stories of others. So I'm going to share a quick story and then I'll do what I do, poem, okay? So a little over 60 years ago, in a little village in Bihar, India, lived a man named Dashrath Manji. You might have heard this story before, but basically Manji had an incredible obstacle, a challenge that he faced, and that was that there was a massive mountain between the village that he lived in and the nearest hospital. So if anybody needed emergency medical attention, they would have to drive all the way around this mountain, and it took a very long time. Anyway, his wife ended up dying waiting for emergency medical attention. What he does next is the amazing part. He begins to take a chisel or something, he begins to chip away at this mountain, and I imagine other people in the village kind of helped along the way. But 22 years later, there was a direct path from that hospital to his village. And I love that image or as a metaphor for the things that we do today have an impact for those that come after us. Whether we see it or not, it has an impact. And so hold that in your head. This poem kind of captures that story, and I share a little bit of my own story and journey in it, and I hope you enjoy. This poem is called Manji. What if everybody woke up only with the things they thanked God for yesterday? When one of my students showed me this quote on her cell phone, my first thought was, I'm using that in a poem. Had I answered the thought at the moment, I might have woken up without a family. Shame on me. Unfortunately, that's the reality for so many across the globe for different reasons. Can't thank God for something you don't have. Or can you? Guess it depends on the faith of whom you're asking. I tell you, the most beautiful pictures in the world are painted with bristles dipped in blood. Looks like sweet aromas. Have you heard this theory called love? Chief motivator behind extraordinary acts. Either read the book of Acts or research this dude named Dashrath Manji. Flashback, Bihar, India. Sounds like a tinkling, chiseling away at solid rock with bare East Indian hands for 22 years, from 1960 to 1982, till there's a road through that mountain. See, his wife died quietly years ago while waiting for the ambulance to go around it. It took too long. Rose petals fell from her fingertips. Mr. Manji literally paved the way for the future, and I've seen similar fire. In the eyes of parents in adoption pamphlets praying that an all-powerful God would grant them the chance to chisel through a child's rocky circumstance. Call it a labor of love. I've been there. I loved her and accepted them. I love them. For every stepfather and stepmother who stepped up to the plate and removed the prefix, my now family of 7 salutes you. We're not all called to be heroes, because only Jesus saves, but I'll be a sidekick. Colorful Speedos outside of spandex, ridiculous, but be careful with self-images. They crumble as easy as ancient documents. Motives can be the enemy of motivation. Adopt with compassion. The world is much larger than your living room. Call me crazy. But I think real Christians could put the foster care system out of business. Adopted when I was 5, found out at 29. God took me in around 9. All around I'm a living witness. What if everybody woke up only with the things they thanked God for yesterday? Would all the lost children of the world wake up to a new family and coffee brewing, seeing the ceiling fan moving and a kaleidoscope of warm voices in the morning? Thank you.
Wow. Thank you, Sean, for sharing your gift with us tonight. Amazing. All right, up next, Liliana Alvarez. No relation. Liliana first came to Hope in high school and soaked up the Hope spirit as a member of the AmeriCorps and Sin Fronteras youth group. She ended up working side by side with Sister Ann to run the service learning program at Hope before moving on to work with Jobs for Justice. In her service, Liliana learned how to do so many things, which made her realize that education is the key to her dreams. She is now a full-time Hope Scholar at the Rollins College Hamilton Hope School, experiencing a full-ride scholarship, courtesy of Bob and Shannon Miller, who are also with us tonight. So thank you so much. Let's give another warm welcome to Liliana Alvarez.
Good evening, everyone. It's an honor to be here celebrating 50 years EMAS of Hope Community Center. As you are aware, I am this year's Hamilton Rollins Scholar. But before I share with you my academic journey, I'd like to share with you parts of my story. My mother was 8 months pregnant at the time we came to this country. She remembers holding me tight while we hid under a tree in the middle of the hot desert, wiping the sweat out of my 2-year-old forehead and holding back tears as she thought of the better future I had. Ultimately, the dream was achieved but didn't last long. It didn't last long, nor did it portray a fairy tale narrative. After 9 years of being in the U.S., I had to return to the place I was born, but I no longer called home. I returned to Mexico due to increased distress within my family dynamic. I realized quickly that I had to grieve losing my life while simultaneously accepting a new reality that aligned with my status. I remember at that time returning to a completely unknown world felt like a nightmare. After a year, I realized that it was a blessing in disguise because I learned about the culture, the language, and most importantly, the reason why my parents had migrated to the U.S. many years ago. After struggling financially and culturally for what felt like a year in Mexico, my mom was reminded of many reasons as to why she had left Mexico in the first place. Because of those reasons, we once again embarked on a journey through the desert that took 6 long days. As a 13-year-old, all I could think about was how badly I wished to reunite with my little brothers, and how desperately I needed to prove that I belonged in this country. Little did I know that moment would solidify my internal need for validation and scar me for life. Upon returning to Apopka, I realized that my trip to Mexico, the one that taught me humility and opened my eyes to the true meaning of family and community, was the same one that excluded me from becoming a DACA recipient. It excluded me from belonging. I still remember my heart ached the day that the lawyer said I could not apply to DACA because I had a 6-month gap in my legal paperwork. The 6-month gap eliminated me from the opportunity to gain protection and the opportunity to seek employment. I mentioned this part of my story not for pity, but to highlight how crucial HEC was in my search for justification and understanding as to why I cannot hold status in this country. In 2009, at the age of 14, I got introduced to Sin Fronteras youth group, Without Borders. This was the spark of something deeper. It was no longer about belonging in this country or fitting in, but to speak up for my rights and the rights of my community. I now carry with me all the life lessons and blessings brought to me. Missing my family and now having my own meaning of the American dream in this country made me get involved in different types of activities through the Hope Community Center. I've participated in organized activities, rallies, advocacy groups, lobbying, immigration reform advocacy, DACA training, Know Your Rights training, and more. Attending Hope was more life-changing experience in my life, and even today in the present day. I try to understand that being undocumented will no longer set me back, be a setback for me, because now I had a voice and hold power in my story. Immersing myself in community work allowed me to see beyond my limitations. Despite still being undocumented, I was able to continue my passion for advocacy. Hope holds a special place in my heart for numerous reasons. When I first met the sisters, I was just a kid. I remember them coming to my neighborhood and celebrating with us posadas and bringing us toys to celebrate. Another memorable moment was when my parents took me to my first rally in May 1st, and it was called A Day Without Immigrants. I remember Sister Ann giving out a speech to the whole community of how much power we held together and how we could build power against this anti-immigrant policies. I was only 10 years old and I felt so inspired. Never did I think our lives would cross paths the way it did. It was a critical time in my life when I re-entered the United States as an undocumented immigrant. I only had hope and prayer as I found my way back to Apopka to be with my family again. God works in mysterious ways. Hello? Okay. Never did I think our lives would cross paths the way it did. It was a critical time in my life when I re-entered the United States as an undocumented immigrant. I only had hope and prayer as I found my way back to Apopka to be with my family again. God works in mysterious ways. Since then, I've had countless opportunities become available to me through hard work and dedication at HEC. During my time at HEC, I was a Sin Fronteras Youth Group member, an advocate, volunteer, Hope Scholar, and the Director of Service Learning. In all roles, I was able to develop relationships and experience countless memories. Most recently, I have prioritized my academic goals in pursuing Okay, so most recently I have prioritized my academic goals and I am pursuing an academic career at Rollins College, where I'll be studying psychology with a minor in leadership. I would not be here without the support of Sin Fronteras Youth Group, College and Career Access, Rollins College, Hamilton Homes, and Mr. and Mrs. Miller. Thank you all for your continued support. Finally, the really finally. Okay. I promise this is the final. Finally, to close, I want to say thank you to Sister Ann and Sister Gail for all the life lessons, but most importantly, for extending your stay in Apopka for just 50 years. I also send a heavenly thank you to Sister Kathy and Sister Teresa in heaven, where I know they're continuing to guide from above. My final thank you goes out to all the staff, to the past, present, and future. Hope Community Center may have developed as a dream from our incredible leaders, las monjas, the sisters, but you are the ones who continue to spread their mission. I truly believe that without any of you, today's celebration of continuing Hope's legacy would not be possible. On behalf of everyone present, I say thank you. Gracias.
Hi. Are you all enjoying your evening? Thank you so much. I want to thank everybody that helped make this possible. I'm just going to say some other things just for the folks that are here, but I personally am just really grateful for the individual volunteers and staff members that directly made this event possible. I'm really grateful for all of you. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Debo Oxowitz. I am the Development Director at the Community Center. And I'm really grateful that you could all be here to celebrate our 50 years IMAS. I just wanted to remind you that, you know, even though this is a celebration for 50 years, this is also a fundraiser, so we can continue for another 50 years IMAS and more. So there is an auction, and in the corners there's a couple of signs with very large QR codes where we are, that'll take you to a donation form. So just consider, I know that many of you have been very generous to be here tonight, but if you're able to be a little bit more generous, you're going to help sustain this organization into the future, and I'm grateful, and thank you very much.
So hard on this event, so a huge round of applause for all that went into it. Wonderful evening, thanks to you. I want to take a quick opportunity now to applaud others in our audience tonight who are doing their part to make the world a more community-driven and service-oriented place. If you are part of the HOPE staff or a HOPE board member, please stand and be recognized now for the incredible work that you do. Please stand. Elected officials in the room tonight for being here to support us. State Representative Anna Kamani. Are you here? She's going to be here. Orange County Commissioner Christine Moore, of course, is here with us this evening. Orange County Commissioner Myra Levy. I see you, Myra. Hi, thank you for being here. Apopka City Commissioner Diane Johnson. Thank you for being here. Orange County Public Schools Vice Chair Melissa Byrd. And State Representative-elect LaVon Gracie Davis. Thank you so much for being here and for the support. So this is fun history. I don't know if everybody knows this, but listen up. The city of Apopka and the nuns have had their ups and downs over the years. Many people may know this, many people may not. The sisters actually once sued the city for better infrastructure south of the railroad tracks. And they won. So tonight, the city of Apopka is honoring their efforts with a proclamation. You don't see this every day, right? So like, we sued you, now we're going to make up, and now you're going to get a proclamation. So please welcome Apopka City Commissioner Diane Velasquez for the very special proclamation for the Hope Community Center in Apopka, where all is forgiven and we're all friends now.
First of all, I just want to say welcome and good evening to everyone that's here tonight. I don't even know where to begin, but I will say this, that it's always been a complicated relationship in the city of Apopka with the whole community and of course with the farm workers. I met Sister Ann 18 years ago. Probably I moved in from New York City. So coming to Apopka was kind of a little bit of a culture shock for me when I realized there were two sides to Apopka. And I can remember when I went to meet Sister Ann, and the first thing I said to her is, "We're all Indian people." Because when I did the demographics, I realized that, you know, Apopka was very diverse, but I really got to see the Hispanic side of our city. And then somewhere in the year of 2013, after living there for a few years, I decided to run for office because I felt that our Hispanic community needed some representation. And I remember Sister Ann and some of the members of the farm workers said to me, you know, no one of any Hispanic origin ever ran for office. You have a tough journey ahead of you. And I have to say that You know, the city of Apopka at that time was ready for some change. And in doing so, I would be the first Hispanic to run for office and win a seat. It has certainly been a journey, and it's been one with many challenges, but I have to say that here I am still in the year 2022, just recently won a re-election, so I continue to represent the city of Apopka proudly. I have worked diligently with the farm workers and home community, and we continue to make waves, we continue to bring our community, so that at one point, even after I'm gone, or as long as I live there, I hope that Apopka becomes as its old, as we have our mission to be one Apopka. So I'm going to read this on behalf of the city of Apopka, on behalf of our current mayor, Mayor Ryan Nelson, and the commissioners that sit with me. Whereas Hope Community Center was started by 3 nuns who came to Apopka in the early 1970s to work with local orange pickers. Sister Kathy Gorman, Gail Grimes, and Ann Kendrick loved unconditionally and lived their faith through action, a legacy that continues today. Their work in partnership with the community changed Central Florida forever as they created a place to empower and enrich the lives of all who would come. And whereas, known as Hope Community Center, or simply Hope, it is a home where everybody is welcome and everybody is loved. And whereas the 50th anniversary celebration is an accumulation of a year-long celebration of the 50 years that Hope has been part of Central Florida. Hope celebrates in honor of the legacy of the founding sisters as they pass the torch to the leaders of the new generation of leaders. And whereas Hope's mission statement is a foster diverse, empowered, learning communities engaged in personal and social transformation through service and advocacy. We stand together with the immigrants and others who are tenacious and courage in the face of all systems of oppression. And whereas in 1971, the sisters arrived in Central Florida, and did they arrive? Whereas in 1972, the West Orange Farm Worker Health Association opened in Apopka, and whereas in 1975, Hopes and Partnership was established through the work of the sisters in partnership with the members of the community, including Henry Louis Kellum, and whereas in 1982, the Community Trust Federal Credit Union was established, and in 1983, the Farm Workers Association of Florida was established. Whereas the center and the nuns have continued to serve and advocate for community, including advocating for immigration reform, providing access to social services, educating immigrants in English and in U.S. culture and life skills, helping eligible residents become citizens, and always being a safe place where everyone is welcome. And whereas the Hope Community Center, 50 years East Mas Fiesta, will take place on Saturday, December 3rd, 2022, at the Winter Park Event Center, located at 1050 West Morse Boulevard, Winter Park, Florida. Now, therefore, and I'm speaking on behalf of Mayor Brian Nelson, the mayor of the city of Apopka, Florida, do hereby congratulate Hope Community Center on its 50th anniversary and commend the organization for its endeavors to help immigrants in the community. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Commissioner Velasquez, everybody. Thank you. All right, I hope you're enjoying your dinner. We're going to move on with our program and really a special part of it because we always hear about the nuns, right? You always hear about them, but it really does take a village to provide the necessary leadership to carry on positive community work. So we have selected 3 longtime supporters and would like to present them with special recognition and thanks for their years of service to our community tonight. So our first recipient of the Sister Kathy Gorman Award for Excellence in Education goes to a longtime supporter and board member of the Hope Center, Dr. Ruth Edwards.
I am honored to have been associated
with change agent and a social justice advocate. Ruth is really a connector. She and the sisters connected in the 1970s and have been fighting since to end racism and bigotry in all its forms. As Director of Education at the Winter Park Library, she wraps her skills of knowledge and communication around everyone she touches, and we are all better for it. She isn't here tonight, but we do have a message from her on video.
I am honored to have been associated with Hope for almost 20 years. I am even more honored to receive this award in Kathy's name. All of Kathy's efforts continue to this day through all of the educational pieces that we offer, the scholarship work. Everything that touches on education came out of Kathy. And so I'm so honored to be receiving this award in her honor and on behalf of anyone who's ever done anything around education for Hope. Thank you so much.
Congratulations, of course, to Dr. Ruth Edwards, and thank you for all the contributions to our community. Our next award recipient has been involved in nearly every aspect of community health in Central Florida. Her legacy of advocacy reaches almost as far back as the sisters. Dr. Marie Jose Francois has committed her life, yes, to understanding and addressing health disparities in medically underserved communities. Her advocacy on behalf of HIV/AIDS patients has improved the access, quality, and coordination of healthcare services for those without any of those things. As a Haitian immigrant herself, trained in Port-au-Prince, she was able to reach out to Hispanic and Haitian migrant farm workers here in Central Florida. Dr. Francois approached the sisters to help her develop an HIV/AIDS risk reduction project, which included under-the-table condoms delivered in brown paper bags. Whatever works, what are we going to do? Hope Community Center is honored to award the Sister Gail Grimes Award for Excellence in Advocacy Award to Dr. Marie Jose Francois.
And I have to say, I have been part of the former participant of Florida, former ministry, and the Hope Center. And the sisters of Notre Dame de Namur, we are missing two tonight, They are the ones who have enriched in me the power of advocacy, the meaning of diversity, the meaning of access to healthcare for everyone. I am part of that history, also with community health centers. Those nuns, they put together 40 plus years ago, community health centers, who used to be West Orange community health centers. The mission, I'm still there because I believe in that mission, which is community. And access to care for anyone in need of healthcare services. And I will say, the Sisters of Notre Dame, you're like a tree, and I'm one of the branches. And I will tell you, you develop an advocate for access to healthcare. Because of you, I have put together the Center for Multicultural Wellness and Prevention, where anybody with HIV/AIDS, no matter where you come from, immigrant, non-immigrant, you have compassionate, non-judgmental access to services. As an immigrant woman, I do understand the right of immigrant. And we do produce in the US as immigrants. Thank you.
Love that. The sisters of the tree, and we're all the branches. Isn't that beautiful? Thank you so much, Dr. Francoise. Congratulations. Well deserved. Our next award recipient this evening, Jessica Ramirez. A natural community organizer. She has the instincts and relationship with the local community to be able to mobilize people to work for the issues that affect their lives. As a coordinator at the Farm Worker Association of Florida, Jessica knows firsthand the struggles of immigration and working in the nurseries and farms of Central Florida. As an immigrant from Mexico, she's done it all, including being a housekeeper and a dishwasher, and not just for her own family, she's done it outside the house as well. This young mom has been active in fighting for immigration and voting rights. She is an effective, respected, and loved leader working for social change for our farm workers. Hope is proud to honor Jessica Ramirez with the Sister Ann Kendrick Award.
Buenas noches, Felipe. Primero que nada quiero agradecer a Dios porque Él me ha puesto donde estoy. Yo nunca me imaginé estar siendo una organizadora, y menos en Estados Unidos, pensando en que yo venía de una familia tan pobre que ni siquiera a veces teníamos para comer.
First of all, I want to thank God because I never saw myself as an organizer, and now I stand here, especially because I was so poor in my country of origin that I didn't even have enough to eat.
También quiero agradecer a mis padres porque siempre digo que sin ellos yo no podría hacer el trabajo que estoy haciendo ahora, porque ellos son los padres de mis hijos, ellos son quienes tienen cuidado de mis hijos cuando yo no estoy en casa, cuando tengo que salir a Tallahassee, a Washington, a cualquier lugar, ellos son quienes me ayudan con mis hijos.
I also want to thank my parents because they basically have been the parents of my children. They have been taking care of them when I go to Tallahassee, when I go to Washington, D.C. to advocate for our rights.
Así que este reconocimiento también es para toda esta gente que nos colabora, nos ayuda y siempre está pendiente de las necesidades de nuestra misma comunidad, nuestros voluntarios y nuestro liderazgo. Siempre digo también que sin ellos yo no podría organizar. ellos siempre están presentes. Les llamamos para una reunión, para un evento, para salir a una manifestación, ellos dicen presente. Así que este reconocimiento es para ellos.
And this recognition is also for the many volunteers and the leadership, because every single time I call upon them to come to protest, to go to different things, they always show up, they're always present.
Y claro, también para mi esposo, que él siempre está conmigo, está a mi lado, siempre me está ayudando en cualquier cosa que yo necesito con la organización.
Also is recognizing her husband because he always stands by her and he's always with her every step of the way.
Que se pare, que se pare.
Everybody wave to his phone because he's getting video. So everybody wave to the phone.
Yo cuando conocí a Hope, fui parte de Crianza con Cariño, con Miss Nilka y Sister Ann. Me recuerdo que eran tiempos difíciles para mí porque estaba aprendiendo a ser mamá y estaba cometiendo muchos errores. Y mi niña tenía 3 añitos, le tenía miedo a ellas 12, ella no quería irse con ellas. Sin embargo, hoy ella tiene 16 años, es parte de su grupo de ellas, ella es voluntaria con Hope, así que, wow, para mí es un honor y un placer.
When she got to know Hope, she actually participated in the parenting classes, and that was a really difficult time in her life. She was making lots of mistakes, and she was learning to be a mom. Now her kid started when she was only 3 years old. She still is part of Hope. She's still a volunteer of Hope, and that gives her great pleasure.
Muchas gracias, Sister Ann, Felipe, gracias Hope Community Center por este reconocimiento que, como dije, no es para mí, es para toda la gente que nos apoya.
Muchas felicidades, Jessica. Amazing, right? Amazing work. That's Hope in action right there. And her husband got the best video tonight. All right. Sin Fronteras, or Without Borders, is the name of the wonderful youth group at the Hope Center that allows teenagers to really explore their potential. From this larger group launched the Monarchs Theater Group, named after, of course, the magnificent butterfly migration, where every year these delicate butterflies travel an astonishing 3,000 miles from their breeding grounds in the US and Canada to central Mexico. No borders for butterflies. Led by Salvador Rosas and Ethan Tavera in partnership with the Orlando Rep Theater, they have created a piece of art that showcases their individual stories of empowerment. It's an honor and pleasure to welcome the Monarchs this evening.
Famosas por su migración, millones de mariposas monarcas, algunos viajando hasta 3,000 millas.
La migración es un derecho humano.
Migration is beautiful.
La migración es hermosa.
La migración es un derecho humano.
Millones de mariposas.
Migration is beautiful.
Un derecho humano.
Millones de mariposas.
Migration is beautiful.
Migration.
Migration is a human right.
Migration is a human right.
The monarch butterfly is one of the most recognizable and well-studied butterflies on the planet.
Its orange wings are laced with black lines and bordered with white dots.
Famous for their seasonal migration, millions of monarchs.
Some migrate up to 3,000 miles.
Once the days start growing longer again, they begin to head back north, and stopping somewhere along the way to lay their eggs.
The new generation continues further north. The process may repeat over 4 or 5 generations. How do monarchs make such a long journey?
They have a magnetic compass that helps them navigate on cloudy days.
A special gene for highly efficient muscles.
Artist Fabiana Rodriguez uses the symbol of the monarch butterfly in her work, a symbol that helps illustrate the right living beings have to freely move. She says,
Like the monarch butterfly, human beings cross borders instead to save their habitat.
human beings cross borders in order to survive.
In the early 1970s, with hearts as wide as the world, Sister Kathy Gorman, Gail Grimes, and Ann Kendrick came to Apopka to work with farm workers and the working poor. First, build community.
Then came action,
Pathways to higher education.
service working,
Access to health care.
parenting,
Citizenship classes. Legal support.
youth groups.
Social justice education and activism. They all started with community.
Many people coming together to help themselves.
50 years más, la historia continúa.
My name is Jocelyn Rodriguez. My name is Silvia Ruiz. Mi nombre es Edita. I was born in Guadalajara, Jalisco, Mexico. My parents decided to migrate to the U.S. when I was 3 years old. We had nothing but hopes and dreams. I was born in Mexico. I was 4 years old when I came to the U.S.
Yo nací en Reynosa, Tamaulipas, México. Cuando cumplí los 3 años, mi papá decidió traer a mi mamá y a mí a los Estados Unidos para un futuro mejor.
Growing up, I remember sitting down at a lunch table and one friend said, "What is the difference between immigrants and books? Well, books have paper." At this moment, I knew I was a target to our society. My mother and I came from Mexico. I grew up in a beat-up mobile home. In a geography lesson, my teacher was
It's okay.
My teacher was reviewing landmarks. I raised my hand and shared that my mother and I had crossed the Rio Grande. This comment turned into a parent-teacher conference. It was at this moment I learned that my eyes were open.
Yo crecí sabiendo que era diferente, pero no sabía qué tan diferente era. Sabía que no tenía seguro social ni papeles legales.
I always tried to keep myself in the shadows because kids were always so cruel in middle school. I learned that I could have been separated from my family, so I started to put up walls around me so no one would get too close. My ultimate prize for me was my family.
Aunque yo crecí con Hope Community Center, me alejé por unos años. Regresé cuando estaba en el grado 12. Y dicen que la esperanza la encuentras cuando más la necesitas. Y así fue cuando me encontré con el Centro Comunitario de la Esperanza. Yo quería seguir estudiando e ir Hope me dio el soporte para seguir estudiando y fui a CommUnity College con una beca completa.
Fast forward to the age of 15, I was able to apply to DACA after thinking I was never going to come out of the shadows. And then I found Hope Community Center.
I found Sin Fronteras Hope Community Center. I started participating in Sin Fronteras Community Center. This group reinforced the feeling of belonging, and I felt deserved and loved. Hope opened so many doors. It was like another home. Aunque sigo siendo indocumentada, no tengo miedo y sigo adelante. Ahora tengo mi central para mi licenciatura.
Hope opened their doors to me when I was in high school, after thinking I was never going to come out of the shadows.
Hope taught me to not just stand up for myself, but for the people behind me. Ahora trabajo en Hope con muchachos de high school. Y sigo adelante. Hope me ha enseñado que tengo que seguir sin importar las piedras que me encuentre en el camino.
Hope has always given me a place in this country.
A place where I can see color again. Un lugar donde aprendí a no tener miedo.
La historia continúa.
Hope is
Opportunity.
Hope es comunidad.
Hope is service.
Hope es unidad.
Hope is trust.
Hope is a sanctuary.
hope es familia.
Hope es amistad.
Hope es amor.
Ay, mariposas, no se aguantan más. Hay que crecer, aparte y volver. Hacia adelante seguirás. Vienen milagros, rompiendo cristalinas. Hay que volar, hay que encontrar su propio futuro.
the shadows, but that was the spotlight, wasn't it? They're not in the shadows anymore. They're not. And so thank you all for your support and for raising them up tonight. That's not easy to do, right? Is to share that story in that way. And it's too bad you guys were all focused on the kids because you missed Sister Ann dancing. She was something back there, I saw it. All right, it is now my pleasure to introduce to you a perfect three-part harmony. I'm introducing you now to three sisters from Ecuador, raised in Queens, who are making Orlando their home. At least one is a UCF graduate. Eliana, Fatima, and Stephanie Santander have formed the singing group Just Imagine. Three sisters, three voices, and one dream, and they are quickly making it a reality. There aren't many artists who can sing fluently in 2 languages, but these three sisters have mastered it. Come on out, girls. Please give a warm welcome this evening to Just Imagine.
create the life that we want to see. Hope Community gives everybody that opportunity, no matter their circumstances. We dedicate this next song to the sisters for everything that they do for this community. Let's give it up for the sisters, everybody.
Que hay en tus ojos con solo mirar, que estás cansado de andar y de andar y caminar, girando siempre en un lugar. Sé que las ventanas se pueden abrir, el aire depende de ti, te ayudará. Vale la pena una vez más saber que se puede, querer que perderse que nunca bajar. Mejor tentarse a dejar de intentar. Bellades, no hay tanto más que desear. Sé que lo imposible se puede lograr. Que la tristeza en un día se irá. Quisiera la vida cambie y cambiará. Sentirás que el alma pueda volar una vez más. Saber que se puede, querer que se pueda, quitarse los miedos, sacarlos afuera, pintarse la cara, color esperanza, entrar al futuro con el corazón. Saber que se puede, querer que se pueda, quitarse los miedos, sacarlos afuera, pintarse la cara, color esperanza, entrar al futuro con el corazón. Vale más poder brillar que solo buscar ver el sol. Pintarse la cara, colores de esperanza, entrar al futuro con el corazón. Saber que se puede, querer que se pueda, pintarse la cara, colores de esperanza, entrar al futuro con el corazón. Guys, let's put our voices together and sing this next chorus for the sisters. Yes, and it's okay if you don't know the words. You can sing la la la, you can sing da da da, but be sure to put your heart into it. Follow along. Saber que se puede, querer que se pueda, quitarse los miedos, sacarlos afuera, pintarse la cara, color esperanza, entrar al futuro con el corazón. Saber que se puede, querer que se pueda, quitarse las ganas, sacarlos afuera, pintarse la cara, color esperanza, entrar al futuro con el Do we have any celebrities out here? Siento algo que me mueve el ritmo, que me hace bailar, comer. Vamos a pareja, todos vamos a pasar, baila esta cumbia, mueve, muévela, todos, las manos en alto y griten, griten con locura. ¡Hey, hey, hey! Baila, baila esta cumbia. Porque se cambia todo esto que te doy. Vale más que el dinero porque así es amor. Y cuando tienes temas juntos los dos, no importa que digan también la sociedad, solo importa nuestro amor. Creo, amor prohibido murmura por las calles, porque somos de distintas sociedades. Amor prohibido nos dice todo el mundo. El dinero no importa ni a ti ni a mí que el corazón. Oh, baby, oh, baby. Hey, sing along if you know this one. Don't be shy. Just say
Just imagine, just like it's written over there. And if you guys could whip out your phones and follow us on Instagram and on Spotify, that would mean so much to us. Thank you. We'll be back.
Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much. Amazing entertainment. They were beautiful. 3 sisters, right? Can you believe that? Incredible. Sister Ann and I are out of breath. So, that's all right, though. You good, girl? You good? Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to welcome back to the stage. There's your dress, drink some water. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Sister Ann Kendrick. Back to the stage.
I am very excited this evening, everybody, and feeling a little emotional. The work of the last 50 years in this community has been the love of my life. The kids will say to me, Sister Ann, you've worked here for 50 years? I say, yeah. You couldn't find a better job? And I say, I love my job. Why would I go somewhere else? Really? You know, because they're like moving around. And I say, I get to work with you. I am the luckiest person in the world. I get up every day and I see the newspaper and I want to throw up. I feel so sick and worried and I don't know, just troubled. And then I remember hope. I get to go to hope. Hope. Every day. To work with the people that are in this room. To work for change. To work for my heart. It's a work of my heart. And I am so happy to be here with my compañero, Felipe. So I'm going to say something to you, Felipe. All right, you ready? Okay. Felipe, in a very special personal way, I want to let this whole community know how grateful I am and how we are so grateful that you stepped up into this role as executive director. You went to church. Just saying. And the reading was about Jeremiah. What are you going to say that? So I'm not going to tell that. That's his story. So Felipe, in a special personal way, I want to let this whole community know how grateful I am that we are and that you stepped up into this role as executive director. You're the right person at the right time with the right skills and the right vision to be the organizational leader of Hope Community Center into the next 50 years. Don't you agree? I see your heart every day. I know your skills. You're a visionary. You're thinking every minute about how hope can improve, what we can reach out to, what we can do. You are a visionary. You dream big. You work hard. You empower staff and community members to take leadership. Your commitment to organizing for real change is legion, is incredible. It is just part of who you are. For freedom, you struggle for freedom from all manner of oppression for everybody, and your dedication to that is relentless. You have experience in your own life poverty, migration, mariposas, undocumented status, the hatred that queer people experience, becoming a U.S. citizen, and marrying the man you love. Let's stand up, Louise, because you're part of this story. And these are the wow, awe moments. Look at this too. So he shows up to lead Hope, right? And this guy shows up, you know, to go for lunch. So, then we learn that he's a banker. Wow, those are some skills. So we send him over to self-help. It used to be Community Trust Federal Credit Union, and there are people right in this room that helped give birth to that, right, Jose? Yeah, I wonder who, he started hanging around. I thought, who is this Puerto Rican guy? What's he up to? And he was up to a lot. And he got us up to a lot. We started a credit union. My mother used to call every night and say, man, I'm so nervous, I can't sleep. Why? The thought of you being in charge of a credit union terrifies me. You could never even find your checkbook. So, anyway. So, Felipe, you are not only a fighter, you are a person of real intimate relationships. You know how to engage people and make community happen. Belonging. You know that these relationships are important. You know that we must fight, but we must also create the alternative. Build what we do want. Do and create what we do believe in. So finally, and perhaps most importantly, we trust you. I trust you. I pass the torch of leadership to you with all my goodness, and I'm just so happy. I'm happy that you stepped in. I'm happy that your friends called you even. You didn't ever see the job description. And I'm glad you went to the, well, I think so, you're telling me the story. So. You develop relationships, you're a collaborative worker, you ask for help when you need it, and you're deeply committed to this work as your calling, not just your job. We're with you, this whole room. We support you, we love you, we are so happy you said yes. Thank you. Gracias.
Wow. I'm just wow right now. Hi, everybody. Hi. You know, I have to start by acknowledging who in my life is the most important person here, which is my husband, Luis. He is the reason why I actually figure out a way to get up every single morning and get myself to the Hope Community Center. He is the person I call when I'm a little stressed out and I'm hungry, and I ask him to make arepas, and he does it. Thank you. Best arepas in town, by the way. Oh, all the Colombians are mad now. I also want to recognize some really special people here too. Thank you so much, Commissioner Christine Moore, for being here. Thank you so much, Commissioner Uribe, for being here. Thank you so much, Commissioner Diane Velasquez, to be here. State Representative Gracie Davis, Vice Chair of the Orange School Board, Melissa Bird, and our own State Representative, Anna Escamani. So my journey began in a really humble way. I was born to a single mom in the outskirts of Rio de Janeiro. Brazil. There you go. And if you know anything about Rio, you will know that the outskirts is the poorest places in the city. It's a place where we don't really have a lot of hope. It's a place where you wake up every single day and you don't know if you're gonna make it alive to the end of the day. It's a place where there's lots of violence. Violence against LGBTQ people, violence against people in general. I grew up listening to bullets just flying around. And I learned really quickly that I had to lay down when I was just a little kid. And when I was about 8 years old, my sister decided to make the most courageous move ever. She said, I think I deserve a better life. And she took the little bit of money that she figured it out how to save and came to the United States with $500. When she got here, she had to use that $500 to pay rent. And she told me that she had like about $5 and she bought some cookies. Which speaks to what it means to be an 18-year-old. Well, she, like many other immigrants, started passing out flyers, started cleaning homes. And when I was 14 years old, she said, Felipe, come live with me. And I came as an unaccompanied minor. I remember like it was yesterday, the day that my last day at the airport, my entire family around me. I have a lot of cousins, so there's a lot of goodbyes. And you know the Latino goodbye 5 times? Lots of tears. And then comes my mom. My mom is literally 4'8", she's very short. But the most powerful person you'll ever meet. And she looked me in the eye and she said, you have to be strong. You're gonna have to get in that plane, you have to go alone. Oh my God, I was so afraid. I was so scared. Coming to the United States is sort of like going to a whole other world. I didn't know what to expect. I got in that plane. Well, before I left, she said, if they ask you where you're going, tell them you're going to Disney World. I said, okay. So I got in the plane, I flew for 8 hours, I cried the entire time. I didn't know one word of English, I didn't know one word of Spanish, I only knew Portuguese. And when I arrived at the airport, I had to go through immigration. They asked me questions in English. I couldn't understand them. They asked me questions in Spanish. I couldn't understand them. I was 14 years old. And I had to figure out what to say to the authorities. So I remember my mom and said, Mickey Mouse! And they stepped my passport. I'm here. Tonight is a night of dreams. It's a night of high hopes. That same little boy is today in this mic. Wow. That is the magic of hope. That is what hope is all about. That journey continued. I became undocumented. I didn't know what to do. just like the kids here, I was hopeless. I didn't know how to go to college. I remember that my school counselor told me that I could only be a warehouse worker, that that's all I could do. And that crushed me, and guess what? That's exactly what I did when I graduated from high school. But I found people, and people found me, and many of them are here tonight. Thank you for being part of that journey. Joining the immigrant rights movement saved my life. Absolutely saved my life. I was alone. I was in the closet about being an undocumented immigrant, and I was in the closet about being an LGBTQ plus person. I didn't know who to turn to, but I found a home in the hearts of people who opened their homes. I remember when I used to go to Jose Luis's house and Melissa's house to cry, and then she would feed me pan con bistec. She was the attorney that actually helped me finish my citizenship application. I remember the SWORD meetings. How many of you were part of students working for equal rights? Stand up, stand up. These folks are the reason why we have DACA. These are some of the pioneers who fought for our rights. And I found that no one believes in us. People used to tell us, you are undocumented, you do not have a voice. We dare to challenge the President of the United States as undocumented people, without papers. When people used to say, you can't vote, so you don't have a voice, we said, oh, that's not right. We do have a voice, and we're going to stand up. So we decided to do a long walk, a march for freedom, called the Trail of Dreams. And we called that the Trail of Dreams because we all have dreams. If I come to each one of you, everywhere in this room, I know you have a dream. We have that in common, don't we? So in that Trail of Dreams, we encounter anti-immigrants. We encounter the KKK. We encountered people who told us that we were not completely human. But we also encountered places like the Hope Community Center. Friends, I did not live in the city, and I knew about hope. And I knew that hope was a place I could come. I knew that I could sleep there, and no one would judge me. And I did. I arrived at Hope on foot. Blisters on my feet. And I remember like it was yesterday. We arrived and there was a room full of kids. And I looked around and I said, oh, we're home. We are with familia. I knew it. I knew it from the get where I was. Because that is the power of hope. If you ever have been to Hope, you know what I'm talking about. You are familia. We are family. All of us in this room and everyone who comes through Hope. That's how it began for me. So when the job for executive director became open, I did not know. But my friend Tatiana Quiroga did. And she texted me. And she called me. And she said, you must apply. She said, you are the right person for this job. Our community needs you. And I said, but I don't know if I can. How can I live up to Sister Anne? Huge shoes to fill. So then Andrea took me on the side and said, hey, we need you there. And then Milena called me and said, hey, that's what you're supposed to be. And then my friend Marco Quiroga said, hey, Hope needs you, we need you. So I decided to pray. What am I gonna do, right, when you feel inadequate? How many of you have seen the huge task ahead and you felt inadequate? Every time you turn on the TV, you see the way they're talking about immigrants, and you question yourself, what the heck is going on? So I asked Luisa's mom, what should I do? She said, let's go to church. Let's pray for a miracle. Pray for a sign. So I did that. I arrived in church, and as soon as the priest comes up, opens up the Bible and reads the story of Jeremiah, when Jeremiah gets his calling. And Jeremiah, just like myself, didn't feel adequate for the moment, did not know that he could do whatever God put in his path. And he said, God, but I don't even know how to speak. And God said, I chose you before you were even born. And I'll put the words in your mouth, and I'll help you figure it out. Oh my goodness, I never cried so much. By the way, I cry a lot. So I said, okay, I'm ready. Then comes the priest and starts to preach, and he says, we must fight for immigrants. We must fight against injustices. I was like, okay, I get it, God. I understood it the first time, the second time, made it really real. I went home and wrote my cover letter, which I believe is the cover letter of cover letters. It's really epic. Hearts on my sleeve. And I applied that same Sunday. And quite honestly, what a huge honor it is to believe, to know that I'm fulfilling my mission in this world. So tonight is called 50 Years y Más. 50 years because we have a huge legacy of freedom fighting, of creating community. Sister Ann tells me about a time that there was a cross burning outside because she crossed the racial line in Apopka. That she had to stay outside of a house when she segregated Ocoee with the Bible, protecting the homes of 2 black families, of 2 Mexican families, and 2 white families that moved in because of the work they did. They sued the city of Apopka many times. They fought back. So that's what we're going to do. We're going back to our roots. And what is at stake here is so much. In the future, people will ask, what did you do? And I want you all to know that if you stand with hope, you will have a lot to say. Just this week, we filed a lawsuit against the governor because of the things that he's doing with asylum seekers. Our very democracy is at stake. And if we don't stand up, we will lose everything. Everything. Just this week, Commissioner Moore and Commissioner Uribe voted to continue a conversation on community IDs. Undocumented people live with the fear of not having an ID, of carrying a consulate ID or a passport, and feeling targeted every single time they take that out. The indignity that you feel, the fear in your heart. This is our chance to change that forever in Orange County. And we're working real closely with our friends with Los CPS. Where is Melissa Berthier? There you go, there she is. Our champion right there. We're working with those CPS so immigrant youth and immigrant families can have an equitable access to education. Because we know that education is one of the many ways that we can break poverty, that we can rise as a community. And we're not gonna allow our kids not to believe that they are beautiful, that they belong in this community, that they are welcomed here. And thank you so much. If you ever ask an undocumented person, what do you want? They say, papeles, papeles, papeles. Papers, papers, papers. They want a work permit. They want to be able to travel back home so they can visit their families after many years. And they want a driver's license. They want to be able to live in this community without the fear of deportation. And I'll tell you, the Hope Community Center will fight every day for that to happen. And I would be remiss if I didn't say what seems really obvious, right? That our mission and our vision is, because we dream so big, we dream of the day that immigration reform is a reality. We dream to live in a state that it is okay to say gay, that it's okay to say trans, that it's okay to say equality. We fight for women's rights. And we know that Black Lives Matter. And that is my commitment to you today. That I will work every single day with the amazing staff. Can you please stand up if you're staff? They are heroes in this community. So every kid has the right to exist. So every mother knows that her children will have a better future. So we can honor our many stories, because we want one day for our children to be able to run for office, win office, like Commissioner Uribe, like Representative Monestamani. Because we know that this is our home. And we're not going to give it up. We won't. We belong here. And we work every single day to make this city, this state, this county better for everyone. Whether we're in the farms, working as farm workers, whether we're cleaning homes, or whether we're surgeons in hospitals. Every day we wake up and we get up and we work because we believe in a dream. And that's a dream that I know I'm sharing with all of y'all tonight. So tonight, I'm asking you to make a commitment. Not only a financial one. Wherever you are, I need you to stand up. When you hear a xenophobic comment, say something. When bills come up and we need you to show up, show up. When we need you to come out to vote on every single election, do it. Woo! Friends, we are fighting for our lives. And we need you. More than ever. And we need you to recruit more people. So next year, when we're celebrating 51 y mucho más, I hope that we need a much bigger space, because each one of you are bringing one more person. This is the time for us to speak. for us to act, for us to come together as a community, una familia, like family. And I'm counting on you. We're all counting on you. Our very lives are at stake. So I'm asking you to show up as powerfully as you can. And don't forget the kids you saw tonight, Sister Ann, and the people you're meeting tonight. And when it gets hard, call on each other. Come to Hope. We always have food. At least coffee. And we are building a community where all of us can truly belong. Thank you so much. I'm gonna bring some amazing people up. So I talked a little bit about the Trail of Dreams, which was a 1,500 mile walk. We haven't been together literally in more than 10 years. Here's the four of us.
My name is Juan Rodriguez. I'm 20 years old, and I came to the United States when I was 6 years old.
My name is Felipe Matos, and I'm 23, and I was born in Rio, Brazil.
My name is Carlos Roa. I'm 22 years old, born in Caracas, Venezuela, raised in Miami my entire life.
My name is Gabby Pacheco, and I cannot exercise my dreams because I am not a U.S. citizen or a resident. I am here to share my story.
We are undocumented, yet we're not afraid to say it.
We want to take our story, our struggle, our convictions, and our passion 1,500 miles all the way to DC.
We are aware of the risk, but our future is already at risk because our present is unbearable.
This is gonna be better for the blister. The blister won't expand.
Today is February 11th, 12th.
It's cold and wet. Look at the weather over there. Bien importante tener buenos grados. Toda la gente que quiere a la universidad tiene que hacerlo.
My name is Juan Rodriguez. I am a student from Miami traveling through Suwannee and Lafayette counties. I'm calling because I'm hearing from the local community members about many hate crimes that are occurring here, and many of those crimes are going unreported, or if they are reported, the local police is ignoring these crimes or refusing to investigate them.
We want them to take their sorry selves back to Mexico and stay out of our country.
It's true, they need to deport all them Mexicans and they should be eradicated, whatever the means it takes.
We speak English!
It's 2010 and we continue to have hatred spew across this country. And we need to continue on fighting for equality and for our rights.
The Dreamwalkers are spending today in Albany on their 5-month journey. Hispanic youngsters from South Georgia were moved to tears.
Undocumented students risk arrest and even deportation, to send Gwinnett County Sheriff's a message this afternoon.
Everybody call us illegal right now, and all we're asking is what it's rightfully ours.
The alarm is going off. Put on your shoes and come walk with us. We're gonna get to DC. You have to do something. No more talk. Now it's time to act.
I don't think it's fair that I was asked to speak after Felipe. But for me, it's such an honor. Ooh, I'm getting emotional. Hope, faith, love. this is why we're here. And for Isabel, for Carlos, for Felipe, for myself, we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the people who had hope for us, who believed in us, and who loved us. I remember how scared we were to do this, but we had such conviction in our heart that what we were doing was not just the right thing to do, but the thing that needed to be done. And a lot of times, when it comes to doing the right thing, sometimes it's uncomfortable. Sometimes we feel, like Felipe was talking, inadequate. But deep in our hearts, we know that we have to do the certain things. For me, one of the things that has always been really key and important, it is the work that the people that have come before us have done, and the foundation that they have laid in front of us to be able to keep it going. And what an honor it is to be able to see my friend, my brother, Felipe, carrying on those big shoes that he's gonna have to fill. And I want to tell you that I also remember when we got to the Hope Center. I remember how much people were writing, how much hope they had on the work that we were doing, how much they believed and how much they wanted us to succeed. I remember how they opened their doors, and I believe, Felipe, there's still a sign that says somewhere like, Felipe slept here during the pilgrims. But we wouldn't, like I said, be here if it wasn't for those that believe in us, those that have put the work in front of us. And for the young people that are in the room, it's all of us, we're pretty young at heart. We have a mandate, we have, the baton is in our hands, and we have to keep moving forward. Change and what is happening is something that is ever evolving, and we're going to need to continue doing that work. You're all probably going to start hearing that there is immigration legislation that is being worked on right now. And we're going to need all of you to be able to do something. And then when it gets done, we're going to still need all of you, because at the end of the day, this work never ends. And so to Felipe, I want you to know that I'm committed to supporting you, to helping you. I want to see Hope continue to do the work 50 years in must. I want all of you in this room to know that your work has created such an amount of impact in our lives. And that in 2010, when we walked from Miami to Washington, D.C., and we stopped at the Hope Center, it was like being fueled with love to be able to continue to do the work that we had to do. So thank you for everything that you're doing. Felipe, like I said, we're committed to seeing you continue to do this work. We're here for you. We are so excited for everything you're going to continue to accomplish and continue to do, and we love you.
Now we have a special surprise for Sister Anne. We had to hide it from her because she never lets us do anything nice for her.
In the early 1970s, 3 radical nuns came to Apopka, Florida. In partnership with the local community, these sisters helped create a place that empowers and enriches the lives of so many. For more than 5 decades, the Sisters and Hope Community Center have supported underserved communities in Central Florida, fighting for justice and equality, supporting voices and dreams, and helping to create a better future for everyone. Please join us in celebrating Sister Kathy, Sister Gail, and Sister Anne.
Sunflowers and another award for you. I can't read what it says, it's in Spanish.
Caminante, no hay camino, se hace camino al andar.
We're going to get a picture with Albert before you go. Okay? We need to pass this around to everybody. No, but everybody should have a flag. Yes, you can have a seat now. Thank you so much. Thank you all again for being here. I know that Felipe asked the staff to stand up. I just wanted to mention we have a lot of board members here tonight. If you're a board member, I would love it if you would stand up so people could recognize you. The board members and tireless volunteers that really make hope work. Very grateful for your leadership and your time. So, I don't know if you noticed when you came in that we had a van parked out there. It was the van that we brought the students in that did the Monarchs show. That van is old and it's falling apart and we need a new one. Do we need a new van, Sal? Yeah! The doors don't work right, the air conditioner doesn't work right. This is how the students get to our programs. This is how members of the community that can't drive because they don't have a driver's license get to our programs. We need a new van. We do have an anonymous donor that has given us a $50,000 match. If we could raise enough money to get that whole match, we could get 2 vans. Which is awesome because we really need 3. So I have a question. Is there anybody in this room that would be willing to put $100 towards that van match? I have a few hands up. All right, there's a few hands. All right, that's awesome. I appreciate that. I've got a couple of young folks over here from our Sin Fronteras youth group that, and a couple of AmeriCorps volunteers that have phones in their hands and they can take a donation. If you're prepared to make a donation right now for $100, you can put your hand up and flag them over. Or, is there anybody who could go up? Take that $100 up? I'd be willing to take it up to, $500. Is there anybody who can take it up to $500? I have 2,000 up in the front here, and I didn't even get that out of there. That's 2,000 plus a $2,000 match. That gets us 4,000 for the van. So, is there? I wanted to give you increments. So, if somebody wants to give 1,000 or 500, you can 1,000. And 1,000 over here. I've got somebody's going to come over Ben and take that 1,000 from you over here. I know that a lot of you came here and you paid, good money to sit at your good tables and everything like that. And we really appreciate it. And I'm so glad that you came and had a good time. But is there any chance that somebody could give us more for a van? Like 5,000. Is there a 5,000? There's a 10,000. We have 10,000. Thank you so much. Really, really grateful. I just want to know, is there anybody who could go a little higher? We have $50,000, on the table here as a match, and by my calculations, we're at about what, 15, 20? We're about 20 now. So I don't do math very well. I'm a development director and I don't do math very well. But I've got to ask, is there anybody who could go any higher? Do I have what did I say, a 5,000? Do I have a 10,000? It's okay, I don't want to leave you here, you know, tortured, desperate, waiting for me to end, so the ask. But I have to ask, because that's my job. And if I don't do my job, Felipe might get mad at me. So those of you that had your hand up for donating $100, could you, if you have not already donated that $100, could you put your hand back up so my folks can see you? So just keep an eye out. They have their phones and it takes a few minutes. So do I have somebody who would want to go more than 100? Again, I just got to ask. 500. I got somebody more than 100. 500. All right. I got Janice. Janice paint some of the artwork that was here was by Janice. She's a long-time volunteer of Hope, and not only is she giving her time, but she's also giving her money tonight. I have Laudi Campo from Hispanic Federation here, waving her hand. So I want to make sure that we get everybody's money because that's my job. So I just did my youth that has your phones. Did you see? Do I need people to raise their hands again for you to see? I know it takes a few minutes. It takes a few minutes to enter the information, so I apologize. We had those card swipes so we could do it instantaneously, and then they weren't set up properly and we couldn't make it work, so I apologize. Oh yeah, you can do it up here on your phone. Thanks. Yeah, so that waving at the screen was Anna Salazar from Bold, who did all of our artwork tonight, Bold Studios. And yes, and we have a card reader in the back, so raise your hands again, and Maricela from our Citizenship and Immigration Services Department can come and take your money, or show your phone at the QR codes over my head and get your money that way. If you are low tech and it's not convenient for you to use the QR codes, then one of our students will come. And did y'all have a good time tonight? I want to thank Sister Ann and Betsy Swart and Mary Carroll, who were the people who interviewed me for my job and gave me the privilege to work at Hope Community Center. I want to thank the staff that welcomed me from the beginning, the Sin Fronteras youth that put up with the fact that I always forget their names, but I know them and I love them. I want to thank my wife for putting up with me, and especially this last week when I was working pretty much nonstop. I want to thank Felipe for being an amazing leader. Every day he reminds me of what it is to be in this movement, to be a part of it, and I'm grateful. I'm grateful that you all came out tonight, and I just want to make sure that we get your money before I step off the stage. Did anybody not give their money yet? All right, thank you so very much. I want to also thank Nancy Alvarez for coming, being here tonight.
Thank you all so much for being with us this evening. For everyone who was tapped by Sister Ann to dance and rejected her, I know who you are. We're coming after you now. Because the party really is just getting started. So this is the moment where you can pull out your phones and be able to show people you danced with Sister Ann. This is it. We're going to do this now. Thank you so much for being here, for your generosity, for your support. We are all Hope, all of us, every single one of us in this room. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And please welcome back to the room because we're just getting the party started. Just Imagine.
You